Good morning to you. Early breakfast underway with me, James Max. I'm with you till 6:30 when Julia Hartley-Brewer will be here. In a short while, we're going to be talking about the rental property market across the UK with Grania Gilmore from Zoopla. First, however, business rates, something that you might think, hang on, really, do I need to know about that? You probably do, because it's something that affects pretty much every single business across the United Kingdom. Now, if they are well-sustained, if they are well-funded, it's just another tax. If, however, you are in the hospitality or the retail sector, this is a very significant problem, and it's one that's been buried somewhat, perhaps, by the government. Let's find out a little bit about what the experts are saying when it comes to the government and what they should be doing with their policies. John Webber is Head of Business Rates at Colliers International, joins me now. John, good morning to you.
Morning, James.
So, the government needs to reveal its business rate strategy, is what you're calling for. Are you going to get any clarity, though, between now and Christmas?
Well, I think it's like everything in life, I suppose. If you don't ask, you don't get. I think what we are trying to highlight is the fact that although the next business rates year, if you like, starts in April of next year, 2021, the business planning process for most businesses, and certainly for retail and hospitality, is upon us now, and people are looking very closely at what's going to happen from April of next year. So unless the government start making some clear policy decisions now, I'm afraid the horse will have bolted, because the hospitality industry is looking closely, as is the retail industry, as which shops, which restaurants will remain open, which will close, etc., etc. And if they are building in from next April 100% charge on their business rate and a return to that level from next April, then if they factor that into their business plans now, then what that will mean is they will decide that some shops, restaurants will close. Whereas if the government do make an announcement that they're going to extend the 12-month holiday or give more relief, then if businesses can factor that in now, then it will make the decision whether shops or restaurants close. And
but let me just ask you, if people actually understood how rates are calculated, and they realised that there is no semblance to reality or how the business is doing in terms of how that rate is calculated. It's based on an artificial rent of an annual basis. It's based on a valuation date that is some years ago. It's based on market conditions which are almost made up by the government in order to provide a sort of statutory framework. It's an utter nonsense. When people realise that this is the tax that's being levied on either their own business or businesses up and down the country, and this is part of the reason that our high streets are falling apart, this is part of the reason that restaurants are no longer able to operate effectively and efficiently during this pandemic, surely people should be crosser with the government for not taking any action whatsoever on the basis of this tax, which has no relevance to reality.
Well, look, I mean, listen, I'm not going to disagree with anything you've said fundamentally, but what we're talking about here is a property tax which is financing local services. And I don't think anyone would dispute that local services need help in terms of the finances, and the finances have got to come from somewhere, however you dress it up. Now, what we've got in this country, which we've had pretty much for the last 400 years, is a property-based tax, which by and large has worked reasonably well. The problem that you have now, unfortunately, is that tax, and the elephant in the room is and always will remain while it sticks at a 50p multiplier, is the actual size of the bill. It actually doesn't really matter how you arrive at it. But the problem at the moment is the government are seeking, and have for a number of years, an enormous amount of money from a bricks and mortar from the high street.
Let me ask you about this then. On the front page of today's Daily Telegraph, Rishi Sunak is considering an increase to business rates for the most valuable properties. It is raising concern that the move will hurt firms struggling from the effects of coronavirus. If he's looking for somewhere to raise money, is this the place?
Well, I mean, I think where that would come from is that there's a review underway at the moment. There's a call for evidence, and I know that's one of the things they're looking at. I think, quite honestly, that's missing the point. I think the multiplier at the moment, the 50p tax, if you like, is too high for every sector. It's certainly too high for the retail and hospitality sector. But if you're going to start saying, well, the warehouse, the logistics sector is doing okay, so we're going to increase it more than 50p, then quite honestly, I think they've probably lost their minds. But in terms of the amount they're taking 26 billion. They've effectively given 10 billion away this year by extending that 12-month, giving that 12-month holiday. What we're saying is now to save jobs now, to save businesses making those decisions now on whether they're going to open or close, you need to say something now on business rates. You can't afford to wait until November, December or early next year to make those decisions.
Right.
Because the shops have already closed, the restaurants have gone and the jobs have gone.
I think this is absolutely a point that we're very pleased that you've been able to make it this morning with us. John, thank you. If people want to find out more about Colliers and what you do, where should they go?
Sorry, James.
If people want to find out about Colliers and what you do, where you go, where should they go?
Go on our website, Colliers International, colliers.com, or email me direct. But now is the time to shout. There is a call for evidence. Please give your views.
John Webber, Head of Business Rates at Colliers International. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.